And we are wrestling with AEW Full Gear review. This was last Sunday. And this was, in my opinion, one of AEW's better paid previews. What were your thoughts, Scooter?
That top to bottom, very good. You know, lots of lots of changes, new things on the horizon for AEW. But yeah, again, it's that we're into that make or break, year, and we were talking about, and it's it's touch and go at this point because the AEW main event scene after Full Gear is going back to what it was when AEW was first starting. And it was a repeat of matches we had seen in Japan. And it's not necessarily a great place to be. I think it's a matter of wait and see.
What about you, Mitch? You have any thoughts on the paid preview as a whole?
I didn't see it, so
All right, then.
I've heard good things, but I didn't see it.
Let's get into it. Kenny Omega defeated Hangman Page in the finals of the AEW World Championship Eliminator Tournament. This was old Kenny Omega, wasn't it?
Yep.
Then we have maybe a sleeper match. Orange Cassidy defeated John Silver. I wasn't expecting a lot out of this match, but it was actually a pretty good match. What do you think that says about Orange Cassidy and John Silver?
Nothing. It says nothing because
I've seen midgets have a good match.
Neither will
Sorry.
the ship has sailed on Orange Cassidy. The moment to really put him in the spotlight is gone.
Yeah, and I promise you, James, you need good chemistry and you need to know what you're doing, but you can't. It's not a misnomer. You can anyone can have a good match as long as they're on their game and with the same person coordinating right. I've seen it happen with people that weren't that great, but they worked well together.
I know you were definitely outspoken of Orange Cassidy, Scooter. You think that they killed all of his momentum after the Mimosa Mayhem match?
Yes.
Yeah, I think they did too. Because of Chris Jericho. I think Chris Jericho has become what he used to bitch about.
I mean, he's lost a lot of matches as of recently.
Right, but he still holds that. Not today, brother. If he feels like it, if he wants to feel like a champion, I'm just saying he has that ego. He's a rock star.
I think there was a preconceived notion about Orange Cassidy that he was no more than
he was a Shikara guy.
Yeah, but that he was no more than his gimmick.
The gimmick. Can I be honest? They're right, but it was a good gimmick and it was over.
not capitalizing on that momentum to evolve his character into something else, because now just Orange Cassidy seems like the guy who just comes up, does a show with his hands in his pockets.
Real quick though, here's my point in this. I don't think, or I lost my thought. Go ahead. I'll get it later.
Now I think we can move on from this.
TNT Championship. Darby Allin defeated Cody Rhodes with Arn Anderson. Wasn't a bad match, and obviously the story was there, but I don't know. It was kind of cold open for me, considering that neither of them really did promos or any storyline related incidents before the actual match. What was your thoughts, Scooter?
Well, I mean, when you have two faces, you're not going to really it's one of those unspoken rules in wrestling that when you have two faces challenging each other, that none of them should really, cut a promo, on them, and we're not talking, WWE's perspective on this. We're talking about, old school, traditional, NWA values here. And I don't think there was anything they really could have done in terms of a promo to build this match. I also think it was a mistake to think that they could do that in general just by the concept alone.
I understand what you're talking about. And, they kind of didn't give Darby the moment. They immediately went into another storyline with Brian Cage and, the little buddy guy. What's his name?
Ricky Starks?
Ricky Starks. Instead of, maybe trying to get Darby a little bit more over. Next question. What do you think Darby will succeed as TNT champion, or do you see this as a failed experiment?
Real quick, they should have. After the Jericho thing, they should have had Orange Cassidy win the TNT title off of Cody, not Darby Allin. Yes. I see nothing in Darby Allin.
I mean, we do joke on the show a lot about Darby Allin.
It's not a joke for me. You know how I feel.
We certainly had our fun at his expense. But AEW is going with him, even though people don't know who he is in a supermarket. Is that the right call, or do you think that AEW is putting their money on the wrong person? And does his look kind of lessen that appeal?
I think Cody's too close to the product. That's his friend, I think. So he wants to push his friend. I get that. But go ahead.
I do see Darby Allin as champion opening up a new possibility of matches.
People with my physique actually getting a chance.
Going into certain direction. I don't know.
I think he's a misnomer, but yeah.
I don't know if it's really going to go down as a memorable reign. I don't think it will.
Hopefully they see that it was a mistake and they reverse course, but Who knows?
Yeah,
That was a mistake.
yeah.
And that brings us to AEW Women's Championship match. Hikaru Shida defeated Nyla Rose with Vicky Guerrero to retain. That happened on this show. And probably the most talked about match on the card, AEW Tag Team Championship match. The Young Bucks defeated FTR to become the fourth ever AEW Tag Team Champions. What was your thoughts on the match, Scooter?
It was a great match, uh, but with a very predictable outcome.
Because if they didn't win the match, they won challenge again.
Yeah, I mean that is the stipulation I absolutely despise because aside from you know Cody, Cody Rhodes, that actually happened to it in the team that has everything to gain and nothing to lose will always end up winning.
Right. But, obviously, this was a dream match that people have been waiting for like 5 years. And this is not, once and done. They're going to have other matches in the future. Was this a good first step in their rivalry?
Yes, and I can't be any more can't elaborate any further. It's just yes.
All right. I mean, it does seem like AEW, a lot of people give them a lot of shit, but their tag team division is pretty good, right?
Yes, yes, I will give them that. They have one of a great tag team division, uh, constantly uh, evolving. But I will say that there's a little bit of going backwards with breaking up the Lucha Bros and who they they never had the AEW tag titles, did they?
They did not. I mean,
So
I
yeah,
always saw the Lucha Bros more as singles competitors rather than a tag team.
yeah.
What about you, Mitch? Do you have any thoughts on the tag team division?
What AEW?
Yeah.
Um, interesting thing with Phoenix and Pentagon. I heard happen in Pac came back. I heard. Did you hear about
Yes.
that?
Yes.
Hmm.
Yeah. So that's positive. Just not going off the subject, kind of. But I was talking about the Lucha Bros, them and best friends, and so I've always thought they've had the best tag team division. You know that, and better than WWE, and it just keeps getting better and better.
Well, depending on who you ask,
In my
this
opinion.
this next match is good or great. Elite Deletion match. Matt Hardy defeated Sammy Guevara. This was a proper Ultimate Deletion match, wasn't it, Scooter?
This was the same thing we saw in Impact in
I'm
WWE.
just gonna say, like, it was good. Okay, the reason I liked it when I saw it for even the second time, because it was new. It was a fresh idea. It was zany and off the wall, but it was different. And it was done in a way that was kind of unique and mystifying. Now it's been beaten like a. I mean, it's just been obliterated. It's a corpse of a horse at this point. It's just been beaten to death. It's not effective as it used to be anymore, in my opinion.
I mean, with cameos from Shane Helms and Gangrel.
That was a lot of fun.
I think Gangrel is a very underrated wrestler. I loved Gangrel back in the day, but yeah, anyway.
Oh, absolutely. It still had effect on me. I thought it was funny, and I think Sammy Guevara is a future AEW champion. The way that he does things. But if you kind of think about it, Matt Hardy kind of when doing these cinematic matches pre-pandemic. So is he kind of ahead of the curve on that aspect?
Real quick, I think people in AEW, because they have the opportunity to do this, they do things more for themselves. In the case of Matt Hardy, I think he does this gimmick. It's what he likes. It's in his niche, so to speak. It's where he's comfortable. And I think they just do what they like, and they get a blind spot for, people on the outside watching. I think that's what it is.
What say you, Squidle?
I mean, the next time we see this type of match, it's going to be sponsored by AARP.
Yeah, Matt Hardy's like 20 years away from the 64 limit of a wrestler.
No, he's older.
It's a joke. I mean, what Roddy Piper said. Come on.
He's older than that, though.
Older than 64.
No, but he's closer to 64 than 44.
Okay, 10, 15.
I don't know what else to say. It's the same old thing.
It's like, yeah, he expects us to be like mesmerized when we've seen this over and over. There's nothing new. It's just the same thing, repetitive. Repetitive things get boring, especially for someone like me who's a creative-minded person. So yeah, it's not going to hold someone like my attention span.
That brings us to our next match. MJF defeated Chris Jericho, and he will join the Inner Circle. It's better than joining the Dark Order, right?
Yeah.
He could have been 11.
Oh God, yeah, number exactly, just a number. But with the Inner Circle, he's his own entity. He can still be MJF. If he had to go to somewhere like the Dark Order, he would have had to fall under the Dark Order line and be just another number.
How long before he starts calling himself Maxwell Jericho Friedman?
That I will say, like the dance thing, it was entertaining, but it was kind of corny. I cringed a little for sure, but it's wrestling, and it was very Jericho-ish, and it fit them both, so why not?
And that will bring us to our last match, which is Jon Moxley retaining the AEW Championship against Eddie Kingston in an I Quit match. What do you think about the match?
It was what it was supposed to be, a vicious bloodbath.
Yeah, Eddie Kingston's that's what he's known for, just a rough, like you'll see a rough, like hardcore-esque match with Eddie Kingston win or lose.
But now this was Kingston's second shot,
Yes.
or was this his first? It was
Second.
his second, right?
Yeah.
So this basically puts an end on the main event push uh, for Eddie Kingston, unless they do something with him and Omega, where the title opportunity is on the line. But woohoo, we get Moxley and Omega again.
You say that sarcastically, but they've only had one match the whole AEW run. And last time it was a non-sanctioned match. So wouldn't it be interesting to see them in a normal one-on-one title match?
No,
I don't give a fuck.
not unless it's the cleaner.
Do you think that we'll see the cleaner Kenny Omega soon, or do you think that he's lost forever in New Japan?
I hope we see him again.
If
That was the good version of Kenny Omega.
if he doesn't, if the cleaner doesn't show up prior to the title match, he will show up after. Because if Omega comes out on the losing end here, it will drive him most likely storyline to insanity. And
Yeah, and if you turn Omega heel, I think going to the back to the cleaner and doing an AEW version of the cleaner is the way to go.
Alright, and that will conclude our coverage of AEW Full Gear. And next week we will be talking all things Survivor Series as it's coming up not too long.
probably
And
talk about Undertaker too.
oh yeah. And don't forget to check out our latest interview dropping on Wednesday at during NXT and AEW Dynamite with ZPB, Zachary Pierre Belder. It's must listen to podcasting, without a doubt. Until then, you can join the conversation on Twitter. I am at always at JamesJ993. Where can they find Mitch Mayhem if Mitch Mayhem tweeted?
They can find me at Mitch Mayhem X.
And where can they find Scooter Dust?
As always, at Scooter Dust, and representing the UNB Wrestling Network at UNBS Wrestling.
For Coleco Yachts, Mitch Mayhem, Scooter Dust, I'm James J, and this has been Wrestling with Entertainment.